SnowTrax is sponsored by Ski-Doo, Yamaha revs your heart, and by FXR Racing, world-class outerwear.
We originally had been planning to come out to Southwestern Ontario for quite some time, and originally the game plan was for AJ and I to do this trip. Unexpectedly, AJ's wife Lindsay, her due date for delivering the baby got moved up quite a bit, so AJ wasn't able to make this trip. But in his absence, he suggested that I give John a call and see if John's available, because John's running many miles in Ontario, and so him and I met up, and we set out to embark on a new adventure.
Well, you know, I wasn't slated to be on this meaty ride, and AJ is at home with his wife having a baby today, so instead of getting AJ, you now have JA.
For this trip, we're going to Grey Bruce County, which is sort of the southwestern portion of Ontario. We're going to be visiting a couple areas. We're going to start off in Owen Sound, tour the trails around there, make our way up to Wyerton, to a couple attractions, and then from that area we're going to make our way back down to what's referred to as the Blue Mountains area, and that's in proximity to Collingwood. What's really unique about southwestern Ontario is how it not only borders New York State, Michigan, and parts of Pennsylvania and Ohio in terms of accessibility, but it's really, really close for someone from the Greater Toronto area to get up here as well. I mean, literally, it's maybe a matter of 3 hours, and you're up into what is this year is considered a mecca for snowmobiling.
Hey boys, who's ready to ride Bruce Grey Simcoe in the snow squalls?
Well, we're going to try today.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. The beauty thing about riding in this area is that we have so many options. I've got a plan. We can go to Inglis Falls, we can go to Bruce's Cave, Skinner's Bluff, weather permitting, but we can also do smaller loops right around Owen Sound, so there's tons of options. We've got the Spaghetti Trail Network. We've got trails that run all over. We're going to go out for an hour, 2 hours, up to Skinner's Bluff, Wyerton, Bruce's Caves, Inglis Falls. We are going to have a blast.
We've learned from experience that when you set up a destination tour, look for a local that knows the area. And when it comes to Grey Bruce, there's only one individual that you can turn to. That individual is Chris Hughes. I have to say, it's somewhat unfortunate that the southwestern portion of Ontario sometimes gets overlooked. Far too many people sort of think of going north on the 400 highways to the northern destinations to ride, but they're missing a great opportunity when they look at southwestern Ontario.
You know, the Grey Bruce offers you so much of varied terrain, from the Blue Mountains to the rolling hills and the farmlands, to the escarpments overlooking Georgian Bay and Lake Huron. It's got a network of trails that can keep you occupied up in here for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I'll tell you what, you're going to come back and ride some more of them, because you're not going to see them all in one trip. This is a real different part of the province to ride in, and again, you'll find that snowmobilers are very welcome here, and it's a big part of their economy.
Overall, in the Grey Bruce area, because they're surrounded with Georgian Bay and Lake Huron, those lakes are just notoriously known for being snowmaking machines. Owen Sound and Wyerton in particular get hit a lot harder than sort of the Blue Mountains area. For Owen Sound, I mean, they typically like to sort of reference about a 9 feet average snowfall a year. When we were up there, we were talking with the guys, and they're saying that they're close to about 14 feet already this year. We had a destination in mind, and that was Skinner's Bluff for our first segment of the ride. Weather conditions unfortunately played a part where it dramatically slowed us down. There was so much snow falling that we were literally breaking trail most of the day. I mean, there's times where you just didn't know where you're going. You couldn't necessarily rely on the signs because they were buried in the snow. So we were really fortunate to have Chris guide us. He got us as close to Zwarten as we could under the conditions, and once the weather broke, we were able to get a little bit further, but unfortunately for Chris, his time that was allotted for this ride was rather short, but he did put us in the right direction for the next part of the adventure, and we did get up to Zwarten.
SnowTrax is sponsored by Quebec Original, where the snowmobile calls home.
So when we made it up to Zwarten for that second part of the destination that we were hoping for, the skies had opened up. It was just an absolutely beautiful day. We traveled along the escarpment and we got to the lookout. And the lookout itself is really, really unique. I mean, you look out to what is the inlet of Georgian Bay coming into Zwarten.
Really, it's breathtaking, and it just shows you the vastness of what they have up here. To look out over Georgian Bay, where it kind of necks down into Lake Huron, and to see the big bluffs off in the distance, as well as looking down and over onto Georgian Bay where we were standing. Truly amazing. It was my first visit there, and I'm glad that we were able to get to experience that vista.
You know, what's really common when you go for a snowmobile ride is you see either stay at a hotel or a motel. They're all great in Ontario, but we wanted to try something a little bit different this trip as well. And I was able to find that place in Osprey, which is just outside of Collingwood, and the place was Pretty River Valley Inn. It's a unique place. I mean, it's referred to as sort of like an inn on a farm. It was a really neat experience and something different, something that I'd highly recommend anyone try.
So from the end, when we leave here, we'll turn right, and here's
the opposite way.
Yeah, here's the trail right here. We're right at the bottom of 3-stage, which is really good. So we'll just climb up 3-stage. It's one of the highest elevations you get in this area, and from there, you basically have the whole view of the coastline here. And it's pretty cool because it's a pretty steep climb as well, which is kind of nice.
Well, and the last time I was here, I can remember looking, you know, up on top of there before we come down right to the waterfront there in Collingwood. You get, it's the views and vistas up there are phenomenal. And if you get a good clear day tomorrow, wow, it's beautiful up there.
This area is pretty unique because depending on the time of the season, you get to see different natural attractions. For us, the natural attractions this year was basically some of the escarpments that overlooked on the lakes. Here you have elevations well over 1,000 feet that you're climbing, and that makes it pretty unique in this area. You know, if you come back maybe in the springtime, some of the attractions that you might see is they have these really neat caves that when the snow is packed down enough, you can actually ride up to the caves and get into it. We didn't get to experience it this trip, but it's something that's probably going to bring us back the next time looking for more.
And make no mistake about it, this is a great area for any snowmobiler ride, whether you live in Northern Ontario, Eastern Ontario. It's kind of a place that doesn't get a lot of attention, and you shouldn't overlook this area for a ride. Grey Bruce has got some tremendous trails, and the hospitality. This is snowmobile country up in here.
You know, anyone that gets a chance to ride with John should feel privileged. I mean, he's been riding for well over 52 years. The stories that he has, I mean, it's hard to try to live up to it. But I think this trip was one of those experiences that he's going to share with his friends and talking about the experience that he had riding in. And it was a great pleasure. And if I ever get the chance to ride with him again, I'll be the first to raise my hand and take a step forward, and more than happy to go any ride with John.
You know, Vern was highly entertaining on this trip, and we'll just leave it at that. And we had a lot of fun. And Vern doesn't get to do a lot of the rides, and I fill in when needed on this show. And we had a great time together. And he's a hoot to ride with, and looking forward to the next time we were able to do this.
SnowTrax is sponsored by Triton Trailers, the cornerstone of every adventure.
Most snowmobilers are wondering what's next for Arctic Cat. After a blockbuster intro last year with the brand new 600 DSI motor, as well as a fleet of Yamaha-powered sleds, you'd better sit down for what we're about to unveil.
This week, we're going to give you a world-exclusive first look at two all-new model year 2015 Arctic Cats. One is powered by a Yamaha, and the other uses Arctic Cat's 600cc DSI two-stroke. First up is the much-anticipated XF 6000 Snow Pro. This 137-inch Procross platform proved itself to us here at SnowTrax and SuperTrax in model year 14 with its outstanding ride quality and linear progressive handling, particularly the sled's confidence-inspiring turn-in. The all-new slide-action 137 vacuums up trail chatter thanks to its innovative front torque arm. The rest of the bumps are handled by a coupled torque-sensing link rear arm. When we first rode the 600 DSI El Tigre this year, we dreamed about that engine finding its way into the XF 137 Procross chassis. Bam! Here it is, and you're going to be impressed.
So far this season, nothing even touches the DSI 600 in nose-to-nose pulls down Kevlar Lake. The reliability of this motor, in one simple word, bulletproof for 2014. And the performance has impressed everyone here at SnowTrax and SuperTrax World Headquarters.
Pulling the trigger on the XF 6000 Snow Pro is a rewarding experience. The engine builds revs quickly and delivers thrust to the 1.25 camo shredder with authority. The sensation of acceleration is significantly amplified with the 137-inch footprint, transferring all of the DSI 600's thrust to white top. Make no mistake about it, the 600 crossover class is a competitive place to do business. This year, Arctic Cat is fully competitive with both Skidoo's Renegade 600 and Polaris Switchback 600, offering a truly credible, high-performance, lightweight, and powerful 600 crossover in model year 2015.
We think that the new XF 6000 Snow Pro significantly changes the game in Arctic Cat's favor for 2015. We have been seriously impressed with the 6000 mil in the 2014 El Tigre and are equally impressed with the ride, handling, and performance of this all-new crossover. The market was expecting the 600 DSI XF. We know we were. However, the next model year 2015 we're going to discuss has literally left us reeling. Arctic Cat traditionally held a strong grip on the luxury touring segment. In fact, Arctic Cat was arguably among the very first OEMs to offer purpose-built twofer sleds in the early 90s. This year, they've got something special destined to meet touring customers' expectations at a new and higher level.
AJ, if you were Arctic Cat and you wanted to seriously mess up the touring segment, what engine would you throw at an all-new touring ride?
That's a complete no-brainer. It'd have to be the all-new SeaTech 4 1049cc triple cylinder. And if I was gonna put it in an all-new touring chassis, I'd probably have to call it the Pro Tour. And if I were to call it the Pro Tour, I'd definitely resurrect an old name of legend. Maybe something like Pantera? And that's exactly what Arctic Cat has done. The all-new Pantera Pro Tour chassis is powered by the light, torquey, and fuel-efficient 135 horsepower Yamaha triple. This motor has been an overwhelming success in model year 2014 in the new ZR and XF 7000 models. The heart and soul of any 2-up or touring snowmobile would have to be the rear suspension, and on the brand new Pantera is a 146-inch floating front arm skid, which seems to be one heck of a lot of track for a predominantly on-trail snowmobile.
I was shocked by the Pro Tour's huge footprint, wondering if it would affect handling, creating understeer. After just one ride, I had nothing, zero, zip, nada to worry about. This thing is a worthy trail carver. More importantly, the 146 slide action delivers a ride either solo or 2-up that's going to knock the boots off the industry. Rear suspension compliance literally defines a touring sled like the Pro Tour Pantera. However, the Pro Tour's ARS double wishbone IFS is a great fit on a sled that's destined to carve trails hundreds of miles a day.
SnowTrax is sponsored by Camoplast High Performance Tracks. Revive your ride.
All 2-up or touring sleds seem to focus on sit-down riding ergos, because that's the way that you ride a 2-up sled. But the Pantera is throwing a wrench into that equation with its bar riser that allows you to stand up and ride comfortably. The twist doesn't stop at the riding position. The Pantera can instantly morph into a luxury 1-up cruiser by removing the rear seat, backrest, and handholds in one swift motion. Arctic Cat has nailed the seat removal issue with this simple external 12-volt power plug that takes power to the rear grips and seat. No more fiddling with hidden connectors while removing and installing the seat. With the seat removed, the Pantera gives off a sophisticated Euro cruiser look.
AJ, what's the #1 issue we hear big mile riders, particularly 2-up big milers, gripe about?
That's easy. Big mile riders always gripe about touring range, which means two different things: larger fuel capacity and better miles per gallon. The Pantera bends all the rules with this huge 4-gallon secondary fuel tank, carefully integrated into the rear of the tunnel, completely hidden by the seat and trunk. A full 15 gallons of high mileage, ride all day, never worry about running out capacity. Combine this amount of fuel with the 1049's EFI fuel sipping demeanor and you can realistically exceed the 200-mile mark before refueling.
Sometimes showing up on a twofer can be a little emasculating, like getting your dog neutered. You know what I mean?
Thankfully, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, and thankfully the all-new Pro Tour chassis and Pantera don't display any of the typical characteristics of a 2-up touring sled, where they're like a big school bus. These snowmobiles ride just like the XF and ZR chassis, are confidence-inspiring, and deliver an excellent ride. There's a true dual-purpose thing going on with the Pantera. And so you don't miss the point, we want to list off the stuff making the Pro Tour not just a worthy twofer, but a versatile 1-up cruiser. There's heated everything, including driver and passenger seats, heated passenger handholds, heated visor outlets front and rear, an incredibly comfortable king-queen elevated passenger seat providing superb sightlines for even small passengers, an infinitely adjustable passenger backrest with protected handholds, and a visually pleasing windshield with body-mounted wind deflectors. On top of all of this, there's beautifully integrated touring luggage with a built-in rear trunk that looks great, with or without the passenger seat in place.
There's a legacy at play here with the all-new Pro Tour Pantera. Arctic Cat coined the nickname Cadillac for the original 70s Pantera because the sled brought a never-seen-before level of luxury and standard equipment to the business. We think there's more at play here than the standard luxury equipment, and thus the Cadillac moniker means something different in model year 2015.
The Pantera seems to me to be a lot more like a Cadillac CTS-V. Yes, it is a 1- or 2-up touring snowmobile that's able to cover copious miles and do that all in comfort and style, but it also displays the handling characteristics more similar to an XF or ZR.
Arctic Cat has nailed it with the 146 slide action skid used in the Pantera and first-in-class innovations like a built-in 4-gallon auxiliary gas tank. Frankly, the Pantera is set to rock the industry in model year 2015.
In model year 14, one thing has become crystal clear to us with the inception of the Altigra as well as the DSi 600 motor, and that is that for 2015, Arctic Cat is on the gas all the time and ready to make some seriously bold moves.
SnowTrax has been sponsored by Polaris Terrain Domination, Arctic Cat, share our passion, and by Go Ride Ontario, yours to discover.